Yeah, welcome to my world.
Welcome to the Small Business.
That's the other side.
Podcast.
Other side. I didn't get that.
Welcome to the Small Business Podcast here on a Sunday in wonderful Bristol on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Today we have some guests on. We have Derek Jones and Kelly Houston. They are motivational speakers, fashion designers, and nonprofit. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah, how you guys doing? Thanks for having us. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Born and raised here in Bristol. We got started, about 2 years ago during the pandemic. It's one of those things where when you grow up the way I have, you just want to give back. So that's a little bit about our story. I won't go too deep into it.
Oh yeah, give me your backstory a little bit.
The backstory.
How did you grow up?
Yeah, how well, right?
You can tell us the truth.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not shy about it.
You shouldn't be.
I think people need to understand there's people out there like Kelly and us that just want to give back our story. So first of all, born and raised here, like I said, right here in Bristol. Grew up to two parents. One, I didn't get to meet my father until I was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
Kind of typical.
Been there, man.
Yeah. With that, my mother, she was heavily into drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I have a brother and sister on her side, and I have a brother on my father's side. They got taken away on my younger age when I was about 7 to foster home.
So you had a rough life.
Yeah. I lived in
and you survived.
Yeah.
Just like me. I hear you, brother.
Yeah. Lived in about 27 different places. Shelters.
You got me beat.
Yeah.
Mine's like 18.
Alcoholic since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
Quit 10 years ago.
Good.
7
How hard was that?
Extremely hard. If anyone's ever dealt with any kind
Have you ever done anything else besides alcohol?
No.
Okay.
No. Well,
because some people say, alcohol was harder than, harder stuff. You know what I mean? Like Coke or whatever.
yeah.
And they had a harder time. They quit everything else but the alcohol because it was harder to quit. So
extremely hard because when you have that type of trauma
Mhm.
that you live with,
right.
My mother wasn't the nicest person, right? I still talk to her this day. We have amends. I work with her. She's no longer a drug addict.
Yeah.
Father.
You're adult now. You can talk to her.
I talk to her. I actually help her out on a regular basis.
Right.
Kelly and I. The thing is, I was also 100 pounds overweight about 7 years ago. And then I made a commitment about.
And you're running.
Yeah, running.
Man,
I gained a little bit back, but at the age, we've been busy. We've been busy. We've been doing a lot during the pandemic. Just speaking to people. We started with a YouTube channel. I'll let Kelly touch.
Oh, you do? You have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay. What is that?
Again, it's DK Movement. It's about giving back. So that's Derek and Kelly. So that's the initials for it. And the movement's just about talking about how we want to inspire others to get out of the situation. And I'm in a really good situation right now, not just
You
relationship.
got Kelly here.
Kelly.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
So tell me something about you. Give me your background.
Well, I'm originally from New York.
What
I've been
part?
Here, Queens.
Oh,
So I have like a similar story. I was given to my grandparents at 4 months old from my parents. I didn't grow up with my mother or father, and they weren't together. They were young.
yeah.
Same thing. They struggle with substance abuse.
Yeah.
And my childhood. I was given to my grandparents to be in a better environment.
Mhm.
But what people didn't understand is I struggled with the idea of feeling abandoned and not understanding why
Yeah.
I was with my grandparents and stuff like that. So, the choices that I made growing up were because of my anger. So, in my
You
adulthood,
have anger issues?
I have anger issues.
Uh-oh. How does that work out for you?
Here's the thing.
Same.
Oh.
Birthdays
But
are
we're a day apart.
Okay, so you're afraid of each other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
So-
good. That's a good thing.
So, my background is in fashion and entertainment. So, modeling.
Did you obviously design those?
Yes. So
look
modeling.
at those outfits, guys. Show me your outfits. Show me that. Yes. that's the first thing I know. I love the colors.
Thank you.
Actually, it matches my office here.
Oh, yes, it does.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
So, so I was in New York. I have 2 kids, and I was in the industry, red carpet hostess, radio host, model, you name it, I did it. But I wasn't as happy as people probably see me. I was an alcoholic as well. I haven't drank in 6 years. I used the alcohol to numb the pain, to give me the confidence to do what I was doing. Think I needed that, right? But I didn't need that. And
You're right. I was in the same game. I was doing drinking. I
Yeah,
was doing
right.
Coke. Because I was a DJ for 20 years,
You're
and
in that environment.
you get everything for free,
Exactly.
and it's
I didn't have
just
to ask.
That life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just gave it to me.
Yeah.
So, I met Derek, And, I decided to change my life. I knew I needed to, and I just packed up all my stuff and just moved here to
How
Connecticut.
did Derek convince you to?
It wasn't that much convincing. I mean,
I-
he
I-
wasn't
I-
going to move
I
to New
sm- I
York, that's for
smiled.
sure. Yeah, his infectious smile. But
Look at her
you-
face.
we got to know each other in a different level mentally,
Yeah.
because
Right.
he lived here in Connecticut, I was in New York, and it was a no-brainer. And even my family was like, yeah, you need to go, because
And-
they knew where I was going wasn't going to be in the right place. So
Right.
I just packed up and moved here. It
And it's
wasn't
probably
easy.
the best thing you've done.
Yes.
But not easy.
It wasn't the same thing battling when you're used to drinking and
Right.
and dealing with your emotions by drinking.
And it's not like you can just go somewhere else like drugs, or you don't know who the drug dealer is. There's package stores everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
every-
It was
No matter where you
socially
move.
accepted. And then when you're
Right.
when you're living in a nightlife, and it's just there in your face, so you're gonna do it. So, but moving here, and I knew that he was no longer drinking. I knew that I had to make that change, and I was ready to make that change.
That's
and it was the
awesome.
best thing that I've done. But it's a mental thing, because
Right.
it was trying to learn how to deal with a totally different life. I'm a New Yorker. We're used to the, fast and this slowed me down.
They're right.
I'm loud. I'm walking in the street. The first time I came here with gold lit up sneakers with my Dolce Gabbana glasses through Plainville, and
You're
everyone's
like my
looking at
other
me like,
co-host.
they're like, what is going on? Who is this? And I'm like, why are they waving at me? Why is everybody so happy? I wasn't used to that, but
Right,
it was
right,
a
right.
change, and I adapted. I love it.
No
here.
one
My
talks to
kids-
each other in New York.
No,
No.
no.
Unless
Why?
you're friends
Why
with them.
should we?
Right. Exactly. All right. So let's get down to the business. If you
Oh,
got any
can I,
questions.
yeah, can I jump in? I think this
Yeah,
would be a great time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you're talking about sometimes people, they make bad choices,
Yeah.
alcohol, drugs, stuff like that. I was talking to Derek and Kelly about a month ago, just meet and greet on the phone, and Derek told me his story. It's pretty impressive. And I said at the end of the call, I'm like, if there was a gold medal for life that someone could win, they would get gold medals, the gold medal of life, because of the adversity that they've
it's
overcome.
it's not easy at all.
I wish that I had a medal that I could put around their neck, like you guys are champions.
Maybe she can
champions,
design
really.
one.
Yeah.
She does.
So I guess my question is, coming from the adversity that you guys experienced,
Yeah.
and even in this day and age, I think so many people are struggling with mental health issues. Life is not easy. I think we're all tapped out coming out of a pandemic. When you feel like you've got the devil on one side of your shoulder and the angel on the other, you know that you should be eating the vegetables, but you got the donut sitting there calling your name. The demons are calling you, whatever they may be. Everyone's got demons in one way or another. What is the one thing for anyone who's listening to this? What self-talk do you guys implement for yourselves regularly when you feel like the devil's calling you to eat that donut? What self-talk do you guys execute? I don't know if we want to start with maybe Kelly, if you want to go first. If you feel like there's something you should be doing, and if the audience is struggling with something, what's one thing someone could tell themselves? Be like, you know what? Not today, Satan. I'm going to eat the vegetables. I'm not eating the donut. Like, what's that? I don't know if it's a coping skill or whatever you want to call it, but what do you
I
tell
would say
yourself?
it's coping.
Because
I would say.
their mindset, these guys are like champions of mindset. Like, I haven't met anyone like you guys in a while.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't think there's like one specific word. I think it's just to remind yourself and be grateful for what you have. We tend to focus
like
on
every day.
the negative stuff. It's like those little things. I remind myself, if I'm sitting there, and I have my days, and I've had my days, especially, I was trying to learn how to deal with my emotions. Being angry, I drank, right? So now I'm angry. What do? Right? Or like you say, trying to make that choice. It's thinking of the things that I've been through and being grateful. We forget to be grateful for just waking up in the morning, being
You're right.
grateful for having.
I
roof
never
over
thought
our
about
head.
that.
You
I
know,
never thought about
I lived out of a suitcase from house to house at one time. So I look at my house that we live in now. Look at my couch. You're like, you know what?
Isn't it crazy?
As I could be so angry and
We'll tell you a story.
complain, but there's people that don't have just this. So
Right.
be grateful. I think you have to remind yourself, look at yourself in the mirror.
Started at the bottom. Now we here.
Right, and appreciate. And I think another thing is to love yourself, because as a parent, and put yourself first. As a parent, we tend to say, oh, we got to put our kids first. We got to do everything for our kids, right? Then you're burnt out. And then you're not really the mom. I thought I was being the greatest mom, but I wasn't, because I wasn't really there, because my focus was just trying to do so much for them, but not for myself. And they
Right.
will look at me and see me drained and broken at the end of the night. And that's not what I have 2 girls. I want them to look up to me in a
Right.
different way. So love yourself and put yourself first.
That was actually one of my questions. What are you most thankful for? And I think you hit it. Most people, they can't take a minute to count their own blessings
Yeah.
and say, wow, I can breathe. I have clean water. Like I'm awake in the morning. You know, I got a roof over my head. I
Right.
got technology. Just look at all this stuff. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
people take stuff for granted.
Crazy.
Yeah.
For me, I think people need to sit back and realize it's okay to have a bad day, right? Forgive yourself. So if you do grab that donut, like, we've been busy over the past 2 years, so I
Right.
gained about 50
Grab a lot
pounds
of
back.
donuts.
But then you have to then get yourself back into the mode of, you know, if I continue down this road to eat this donut or pick up that drink, whatever it may be, where is this going to lead me?
Right.
Everything that Kelly's talking about that brought us together has been manifested, written down, goals, right? I go back.
That's a
to
good,
that,
that's a
right?
big thing.
Yeah, it's actually
You have
true.
to have goals.
The house that we live in is I don't mean to say anything, but from where I came from, it is a very nice home. It's one of the nicest homes of Bristol.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the thing is, how I get myself out of those things is not just being grateful, but I take that moment and say, you know what, maybe I might have to give into this one little thing, right, for now, to be okay. So it's to be okay with yourself to fail at times, and then
Oh, absolutely.
forgive yourself.
Right.
Right, forgive yourself. We talk about that all the time. People don't forgive themselves; they beat themselves.
Yeah. A lot
up.
of people, they fail and they just
Yeah.
give up. They're like, I can't do it.
Right.
Instead of trying to say, I'm going to beat this or let's go in a different direction, you know?
The most successful people in the world that you look at, the multimillionaires, billionaires, or wherever you came from, right, making 6 figures, 7 figures a year, right, they all have one thing in common. They have this narrow focus in life. And I can remember even when I would be at my worst, drunk, whatever case may be, mother, father not there, or being beaten by my mother, taking out my anger on other kids at school.
Mhm.
I would always know, though, I had something else inside me, right?
Right.
And maybe not everyone has it, or they think they don't have it, but just look at yourself in the mirror and honestly, I mean this genuinely, and say to yourself, one, not only do you have it, you can be a difference maker. A mother at home, a father, right? I have 2 of my kids going through, one of them I don't see, and one of them I have 50-50 custody to,
Yeah.
but I'm an advocate on trying to fight for fathers' rights. I'm there for my
I've
kids.
been there too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm in there. I'm in that fight. Just don't talk about it, be about it. Right. So if you do fall back, get back up. I know it's that cliche that you hear all
Right,
the
but
time.
it is
Right.
true.
It's so
you know,
true.
and it's
Yeah.
hard for a lot of people, especially if they don't have anyone to depend on, or I'm sure you guys helped each other.
We do.
Right.
we do.
So a lot of people don't have that, you know.
With all that being said, what's the goal for DK Movement for this year?
Man, we have so many goals, but the main goal right now, again, we talk about that narrow focus that I just said. We have a great organization that we just started, a nonprofit, right? It's not even about the clothing. It's truly about giving back because we can. We're at a spot where we can. This race is one because, I lost all that weight. I became an avid runner, a pretty decent runner at that, is to start spreading our message to as many people as we can. And this race is going to bring awareness.
When is this
about it.
race and where is it?
It's right here in Bristol.
Okay.
It's August 26th. We're actually looking for people, even more people, to sponsor it right now. So we're open.
Why
for
are you
that.
looking over here? No, just kidding.
You knew I was looking at you, right? Obviously, right?
Because you're the guy with the money. Steve.
Here's the thing, right? The Special Olympics, you look on a larger base, and it looks like it's getting funded on the highest levels. But
Right.
once you start reaching down into the towns, they actually don't get the self-funding.
Right.
Right.
You're right.
So Kelly and I, we decided, hey, listen, why don't we take an organization like this and start giving back so where we can help self-fund them, right? It's a great cause. These kids, if you think about
You guys are the boots on the ground.
correct.
Right.
We're different than the larger organizations because we actually can work with anyone there is, right? So we don't have any ties, right? We have a small board.
Right. Which
Right.
is better.
It's just us and Kelly's cousin, right? So we can make quicker decisions. And not only that, we're so in depth with what we can do. Kelly's brilliant. She went ahead and did our website. So when
Oh,
you look at
thank
our
you.
website, I mean, she does an awesome job, right?
Yeah.
And plus me, people person, she's a people person. So we're able to talk to people, and then we're able to get people to do things that they thought they could never do. I'll tell you a little bit about my day job. I'm working in the banking industry,
Mhm.
and I've been there for 10 years, right? And the thing is, I'm able to get people to take themselves from one spot and elevate to another spot. And I think that's what this is about. Same thing with these kids, that are going to be in the Special Olympics.
Mhm.
We need to elevate them, right? So that's what DK Movement's about. So for right now, that's where I see us.
I always
is working
wanted to
on
do
that.
something for the Special Olympics, whether it's, one of my expertise, which is, video or something like that. I always wanted to donate, but I didn't, Never got
Well, you
around to.
can now.
can.
Well, now that I got you
Can-
guys,
Yeah.
I got a connection to get
do.
into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek, can you drill down on what you just said a little bit
Yeah.
more? Share a story, because I think that you told me one on the phone, but I can't quite recall what it was exactly. It was about a child in a group home or something like that.
So that's
Share a win that you guys facilitated.
Yeah, so that's just recent. So I sit on different boards within the city. I actually stepped back just a little bit because we've been so busy. And one of them introduced me to this group home, and I went out and I spoke to several kids. There's about 6 kids there at a time. It's a group home where they go through some of the similar things I've gone through,
Mhm.
where they've been beaten, sexually abused, things of that nature, right? Horrible things.
What's the average age?
It ranges between 6 and maybe right before 18.
Yeah,
okay,
so those
so-
are prime years right there.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
these kids are going through so many. So I went in there and I spoke to, there's about 4 or 5 of them that day. To this day, I still speak to one of them. I can't say his name on the air.
Yeah, I would.
This kid is going through so much in his life. But I think the thing that touched me most was these kids appreciated me coming in. The main thing that I walked away with was that they said one thing that stuck with me to this day was people come in here and they have something written. You lived our story.
Correct.
It's so much more impactful.
Oh,
We
absolutely.
appreciate that, Derek,
Right.
for you coming in here. To this day, we actually gave him some clothing. Went back a couple of times, and we're still in touch with them. And they should be at the race, a couple of them. But that's a win for everybody, right? This kid is going to now go on, especially one of them is going to go on now for the rest of his life, and he's going to not just wear our clothing. He's going to have that inspiration because he told me
Right.
that I can carry this from now on, no matter whatever happens to me.
You're relatable to him.
Yeah. He said, whatever happens to me, Derek, I'm taking this with me no matter what.
That's a good thing to hear.
Yeah.
That's got to be good for you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean,
Yeah,
he said to him, "You're just not someone here that just wrote a book.
Right.
Somebody here that, yeah, exactly.
It's
with the
been
race-
through it.
Right. And we gave them like goals because they liked the clothing. So we were like, okay,
That's
so
what
if
caught
you
me
write,
when you guys walked in.
if you
I was
write,
like, oh,
if you
shit.
do a vision board,
Yeah.
let's start. And he did it. And we came back and we said, okay, here's a jacket. And so our clothing, when we created it, it still has our message. So our clothing line is the Worthy Collection, Unstoppable. What we're
Movement.
wearing right now is
Yeah.
Unstoppable because we want to still bring that.
Do you have a
message to our
store
kids.
on your website?
Yeah, it's on the website.
It's on the website.
All right,
We're
I'll be
online.
getting some gear.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Sounds good.
Love it. I'm sure you've got a whole
Oh,
box full of them stories.
So many. So
Yes.
many. Yeah.
All right. Do we have time? You want to share one more?
No, yeah, we can
Yeah?
keep going. Yeah.
All right.
Still
Kelly, you got anything?
Still got like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, wonderful.
I mean, it's not really the story. I think it's more the message that we want. Our kids, as a parent, our children are so engulfed in social media, right? I mean, they live on social media, and what they see on social media, they feel that they need to live up to those expectations, even adults. And we get stuck on that. And I think our message for the youth, we always wanted to say, is that you need to look up to the mentors within your community.
Yeah.
There's so many people here that they should be looking. And don't get me wrong. I mean, you could look up to Beyonce and Jay-Z and the
Right.
basketball players, whatever. I mean, I lived that life and met these people. They're
Right.
human. They're just like us.
That's I
okay?
know my wife when I
You know.
yeah, my wife is like, oh, you've seen him or whoever, like, oh, how do you know this person? Oh, you met. I'm like, these are just people
Just
with.
people.
Exactly.
They're just
Yeah.
people with great jobs.
And we forget that.
That's all they are.
We make them. If
Right.
we didn't listen to their music, if we didn't
They
watch,
wouldn't be shit.
they wouldn't.
Right. People don't
Exactly.
understand
And
that.
they don't realize. And this is what our children are looking up to instead of someone in their home or someone in their community. And our kids are so lost with what they should be or what they should be doing or what they want
Right.
because it's what they see. I always told them, listen, if you saw my social media, you'd be like, wow, she's glamorous. She's on the red carpet. I want her life. No, you didn't, because I was drunk and depressed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know
People
by looking at
post
that
what they
picture.
want you
What
to see.
Exactly. So, when we speak to these kids, I mean, we spoke at a career day, and when we spoke to them, we made them do their goals because we're all about writing down your goals or vision boards and putting it down and just sharing our story and just the look on their face to see that they were really receptive and they really were like, wow, like seeing us now, you wouldn't think we went through what we went through.
Do you
in the
see
past.
them like when they make their vision boards? Do they see it focus on it better because they can see it on
Right.
paper.
Right. Yes. I'm a very visual person.
Yeah, that's the way I am
So
too.
I have to see things
Right.
in that manner. And we do it with our children too. There's vision boards all over the house. It's like, because that's something that we wake up in the morning and we look at, and and when you say, when you're having that bad day, I'm gonna look at my vision board because that's where my mind needs to go. It wants to say, hey, Kelly, remember, this
That's
is
a
your
great
goal.
idea, but I can imagine your house. How many vision boards you have in there?
not as many, not
I mean,
in the
but-
shower? Make sure
No,
you wash your hair.
yeah.
Whatever
But, like,
works.
If you go in my daughter's room, she has one. We have
I-
like 3 in our bedrooms, and one we have, which we did before we bought our home.
Right.
And when we look back at that vision board, our house looks just like what we pictured on our vision
That
board.
that
It was kind of
True
freaky.
story.
And,
is, yeah,
true
I was just
story.
gonna say that must freak you out.
It does. And everything we put in that, and manifesting and thinking things, things happen, and you just got to embrace them and live in that moment. We forget to live in them. And I tell Derek all the time, like, when you win the race, live in that moment.
Yeah,
Let's not go
that's
to
one
the
of my
next
problems
thing.
I have. I
I
don't.
think a lot of us.
I'm
have that
looking to the
problem.
next thing
I'm
already.
doing better now at that,
Yeah.
right? I'm one of those people where, like I said, my backstory. When you go through tragedy and trauma, you tend to think that you're not good enough, right? Or you're told you're not good enough, and that's just not the case. I mean, where I was last year, I'm different now.
Right.
Where we were, 2 years ago, I'm different now. Where I was 10 years ago is night and day. Here's the thing, though: we have to have self-belief in ourselves, and we have to instill that in the kids, right? Especially in the Black and Brown community, right? I'm heavily also into politics, and I firmly believe there's just, on both sides, it's just such a disconnect here.
Oh hell yeah!
Here in the city
I
itself.
totally
right?
agree.
So one day, who knows? I might make a shot at, running for some kind of mayorship or something.
You better
like that.
not.
And
My
I said,
friend is.
I was just thinking that. I was like, vote for Scott Rosado.
Here's the thing, right? My mindset and Kelly's mindset is all about one thing and one thing only: is, can we connect with as many people as possible? Can we help as many people as possible? Can we make your day a better day, right?
Okay.
Because not everybody's day is always great. And we have to appreciate that. Those people sitting, out there begging for food, who knows what happened to them, right?
Right.
Why they're on those drugs, or if they're not on drugs, maybe they weren't, maybe their house burnt down. So sometimes we're so quick to judge people. We can be in a store somewhere and be like, why is that person have such a bad day? Who knows? Maybe somebody just died.
And some people, like you said, have mental
Right.
problems.
True
And-
mental problems.
yeah. So, like you said,
We
you
have to
don't know
address
what
those
they're going
things,
through.
right.
You know.
No, you don't.
Have appreciation for others, right? If you have appreciation for others, then you're going to be willing to help others.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we, as us successful, now that we're successful, and you guys yourself, we have
Yeah,
to,
successful is different in
Correct.
everybody's
Right,
mind.
yes.
Because like when you're what do you want to say? Material successful
successful is
My-
also
is
About
like the
yourself.
freedom of, you know what I mean? Saying, okay, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have nothing and still
You'll
be
be
happy.
happy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all in the eye of the beholder.
Right. Exactly.
It is.
Yep.
People also too, like they don't give enough credit to that janitor that loves their job.
Right.
Right.
They have a
Like,
job
like
on
if-
top of that.
What's wrong with loving your job? And then society tells you, hey, no, you have to be this CEO, you have to fall in line and do these certain things.
Right.
That's not the case, right?
Right.
What you need to do is also tell your kids too out there, have pride in what they do.
Right.
And that way, when they wake up in the morning, they're going to be joyful going to work. So if you like to bag groceries, right here, our local Stop and Shop, there's 2 people in there that love their job.
Right.
And I tell them,
And you notice it too. And I said
Yes.
the same
and
thing.
I tell them every single day, what's wrong with that? We should never look down on people for those types
Right.
of things.
Absolutely.
Those are some of the best people.
I mean,
in the
they
world.
let's say it's their job and they don't like it, but they still put their 100%
Right.
into
Exactly.
it because
Long
they
they're
know
putting
they
their-
have a
long they're
job.
putting their 100% into something.
Right.
And that's one of our other messages. Put whatever your passion in.
Do you guys have like speaking engagements that you hold or anything like that?
They're not quite yet.
Okay.
We haven't reached that level.
Is that in
yet.
the future?
That is
Yes.
definitely in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
To be able to
Because
go
you guys are
into-
motivating me right now.
Thanks.
I told you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Whatever it is, Kelly and I, if I can't do something well, she can do it well.
Mhm.
A lot of people can't work with their significant other.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, throughout I'm not saying we don't fight ever. That's not the case.
Yeah.
By any means we do. But
I bet you.
But
lose every
here's
time,
the
huh?
truth.
Look at her.
do I look like I
She's
lose?
blushing.
Do
No,
I look like I
no, I
lose?
can tell.
I
No,
don't think
because
so.
I trust me, man. I got a
Here's
little.
the
I got a
thing.
little wife, and I'm scared of her. So
Here's the thing, right? When you're home during COVID,
Mhm.
it could make or break your relationship.
oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't. it made our relationship stronger. And that's the truth, right? We learn more about each other. We appreciate each other.
Right.
We have our ups and downs like anyone else. However, but
How long have you guys been together?
6 years.
6
now.
years.
6 years. Yeah.
6 years, and it's flown by.
You
But
you guys are married, right?
Not yet.
not yet. Again,
I'm not putting any pressure.
no.
I just didn't know.
There's,
Okay.
there's definitely a
Sure.
plan in place.
Okay. It's on the vision board.
It's
on
on
the It's on the vision board.
Okay.
Derek, you're a personal trainer too, right?
Yeah. So during
Yeah.
right now I have to renew my license. So during the pandemic, I got my personal training license. So I can educate myself on nutrition, things of that nature. I had lost a lot of weight on my own. Doing research. I'm a big research guy, self-belief, many different books. Here's the thing is with the personal nutrition, again, is discipline. It really comes down to discipline too. That's one of the
And it ain't easy either.
I was just
It's not-
about to ask you if you wanted to share maybe top tips for someone looking to lose weight.
Yeah.
I know that's a loaded question. But
No. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the best things again is set a goal. I know you're going to hear this all the time from me. Is set a goal. So what I like to do is, hey, okay, in this next 5 months, I want to lose 20 pounds.
Okay.
Okay, so here are the things I need to do to get there. Right, I'm going to have to reduce.
So you break it down. into
You have
steps.
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to reduce your calorie intake. Don't let anyone tell you different. If you don't reduce your calorie intake, you're not going to lose weight, right? You have to do some form of exercising, whether it's walking a couple miles or it's actually running or going to the gym, right? Whatever it may be, and you have to be consistent with it, at least a half hour a day, right?
Right.
And then
Which is not a lot of time.
no, but if you can do a half hour a day, you're going to lose weight. If you can reduce what you're eating, you're going to lose weight. If you go grocery shopping, stay on the outside. I know stay on the
Oh,
outside.
really? I didn't-
Yeah. What is
I
that?
didn't know
Fruits,
that.
Vegetables,
Well, the
stuff
vegetables,
like
Right.
that,
I know
right?
that, but I never
Go
knew
in the middle
that.
aisles is where all the junk is.
How the hell did you figure that out?
yeah,
Every
I've
supermarket.
heard that
Research.
before.
How would you even
Research.
come across that? I would have
Yeah.
never
Yeah,
thought of that.
research. Other thing is add some protein and some healthy fats. So we've been led to believe that fats are not good, just not the case, right? So good fats are
There's
good.
good
Olive
fats,
oil,
right.
olive oil is a great fat, right? Ghee, when you're cooking with stuff like that. So there's many different things, but the main thing is this: whatever you do, reduce your calorie intake, put some kind of exercise, and hold yourself accountable. And then, what did I say? Forgive yourself if you do have a bad day.
Right.
Forgive yourself. We beat ourselves up, and then we stop,
Mm.
right?
And then they go back to the
And then
old
we go
habits.
back to our old habits.
Right.
Just bounce right back and say, hey, I can do it. So those are the best tips I can give.
I
right off
think
the
that's
top,
with
man.
anything. It doesn't have to only be about losing weight. I mean, just
Everything
setting your
connects.
goals in life. If you're looking
Yeah.
for a job, I mean, I know it's difficult, especially now. You set a goal. It's baby steps. We don't have to go, and if you don't set a goal and write down those steps, then people get overwhelmed.
And it's not
We
going
have
to
these-
happen overnight.
We have these expectations like, okay, I'm going to do this, and this is instant gratification because social media has taught us to have this instant
Yeah.
gratification. TikTok, you watch a video for 2 minutes, you just want to know now. You don't have patience.
Oh, I got 1,000 likes.
Right.
Yay.
And you-
But what does
right.
that what does
Nothing.
that do for
Right.
you?
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
Exactly nothing.
Nothing. It gives you that temporary high for 5 minutes, and that's
Exactly.
it.
It's
And that's
so
what
much
everybody
better.
does now.
Yeah, sorry to cut
Yeah.
you off. So much better to get out and actually do something,
Mhm.
Right.
whether it's in the community, whether it's for yourself. But another tip too, real quick, is think about yourself first, right? Before you do anything, I think about myself first, and I can love Kelly more, and I can love my kids more, and I can love people more. If you don't think about yourself first, then you can't help others.
You're right. No, that makes
you really any successful person will tell you, if you don't put yourself first, you're not going to be winning, right? And that's what we fail to do. We put others first, right? And then what ends up happening, we lose sight of ourselves, and then we become depressed, we become angry, and then we take it out on others instead of putting ourselves first. Do that number one tip first. Things fall. in line quickly.
Believe it or not, I'm slowly starting to learn that, because
Yeah.
I don't put
It's hard.
myself first.
You have to.
And
It's
I
not
struggle
selfish.
with that.
It's not selfish. It's actually a mandatory thing. In order for us to continue to grow and push ourselves, you have to do that. If you want to be the best version and you want to be the greatest version of yourself, not to say that you're not, you have to put yourself first. It is not a negative thing. That way you can be there for your kids. This is why I stepped back from the boards and stuff. And Kelly, because I gained a little weight because we got so busy doing stuff for others, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. However, now I neglected my health a little bit, right?
Yeah, because if you do that, you're not going to be there
Right.
to help others.
Right.
And
I have this race coming up. I want to represent. I'm a decent runner. I can run a 19-minute 5K at 43 years old. At this
it
point,
takes me
right,
19 minutes to
Yeah.
get downstairs.
at this point, I'm going to show up to
joking.
the race, and I could complete, the whole race. But however, it's not going to be. I'm not going to be happy with myself because I'm not at the, the product. I'm not giving myself the pride that I should be giving myself. So I said, stop. Okay, let's start giving back. Let's
You
start
should be
working
happy
out.
you're in the race,
Yeah.
Exactly.
just doing the race, because a lot of people can't. I couldn't, you
Yeah.
know.
What's your exercise routine? You do weights. I know you said you went running today.
So so I went running today. Stretch. There's a roller I roll out. It's strictly push-ups, sit-ups, and running. That's it. I don't do anything else. Don't need anything else. And then I eat well most of the time.
What about you?
Push-ups, sit-ups, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah, push-ups, sit-ups,
sit-ups,
and running.
and that's it. So
That's
you don't go to a gym?
No.
You don't really need. I mean, not
No.
trying to.
I've
down
lost all my
gyms.
weight in the
Right.
first place, 100 pounds, right at home. Never went to the gym.
Yeah, I think I would say the gym environment is more. Not it's bad. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just sometimes if you have a trainer, they can push you.
Yeah, the
But if you're home,
accountability.
if you're home, you have to motivate yourself,
Yeah.
which gives you mental
And
motivation.
I'll
too.
let Kelly talk, but think about it like this: if you could do something on your own, and then let's say you fall off the wagon, you have something to fall back on.
Unless you got like an online program. I know like a lot of trainers have that for the accountability,
Yeah, right.
where it's like, oh, I have to log on at 9 because my trainer is going to be sitting there telling me how to do push-ups.
Yeah, some people need
Yeah.
that, and that's okay too.
Mhm.
But I think we have to, again, I'll go back to it again. You'll hear me repeat myself consistently. We have to rely on ourselves. When we start relying on ourselves, we start to stretch ourselves and we start to become better people.
Right.
Yeah.
You?
What? I'm his cheerleader.
And that's a very important goal.
I'm at the races watching.
Yeah, she
I
does- she
tried
does a
running
great
at
job
one
doing
point,
that.
but it's just not my thing. I mean, I'm going through a back injury.
Put that on the
so-
vision board for her,
Yeah.
please.
So, I'm trying to get out and walk and stuff like that because I have an injury. So
Oh,
it's
you
not
do?
like I can go
Yeah, she heard of
and
that.
yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm always living in New York. I don't drive, so I walked everywhere.
Yeah, no
I
one.
was
Yeah,
al-
no one
you
does
know,
in New York.
So I was always active. So, but now because of my back injury, that slowed me down. So, but I got to get back once I start feeling better to start exercising again.
What's your next goal?
My next goal.
Do you have one that's in the immediate future that you would like to?
I mean, I think
Right.
the race is just we're so focused on
race.
this race
Yeah.
and just working within our community and bringing unity. I mean, that's our, if you want to say one word that sums everything up, is being united. I think that we all need to, if we're going to make a big impact, we all have the same cause, right? If we're all trying to, if there's different organizations trying to help the homeless, if we all did it together and teamed up together,
Yeah.
we can make a bigger impact. This has just been me and Derek for 2 years, blood, sweat, and
2
tears.
years.
Trial and error. If you want to say about just you fail and get up, we failed plenty of times. We made mistakes. We're a small business. No one taught us. We taught ourselves. We
Me
researched.
too.
I'm not going to say
Yeah.
we didn't get help along the way, but this just been me and him. And we're at the point where we're like, okay, listen, we give 150,000% of anything that we do. Okay. And if we're helping someone, we're going to give that same energy. Okay, so now we're looking for others to give that energy back, and let's all do this together because we can make a big
Stronger in
difference
numbers.
and stronger in numbers if we all teamed up together instead of trying to, everybody has a time to shine. No
Right.
one's trying to take the shine from anybody else.
Right.
We could be brighter if we all work together.
Right. And that's not about that. It's about the people
It's
that
about
you're
the people
helping.
you're helping.
Yeah,
Exactly. At the
doesn't
end
matter.
of the day,
Exactly.
it doesn't matter. Like we did the nonprofit because we figured we were doing community work anyway. We've been on Fox, we've been on the Bristol Press, we've been in the Hartford Cover, all for our community efforts.
Better Business
At
Award.
Better Business, we got an award
Wow.
for our community efforts as well. And we look at each other and like at the end of the day, it's for these people. So when we started the nonprofit, it's not about making money for us. Is about the more money we get for our race, the more sponsorship, the more donations, that money's going back to these two charities.
Right,
We
it's not
covering
going to
our
you.
costs, but it's not coming.
gotta
because
cover
we
it.
The
have
only
no
thing,
overhead.
the
We
only
don't
thing
have
you
any
get
of that.
out of it is you get the trust from people saying these
Yeah.
people are actually making a difference.
That's
I'm
it.
going to give you my money.
Well, we have a long-term goal, right? Obviously, like anything else, as you could tell, I'm pretty organized. Kelly's pretty organized. We set goals. So the long-term goal is actually, on the national stage, right? We want to impact as many people as possible. I think if people need to hear the story, especially in the Black and Brown community, I hate to just say it.
No, it is what it
I'm
is.
half white too, right?
Yeah.
And so am I.
We're so
We are so
negative.
I know, right?
we're so negative, right? And we're so beaten down at times. And people look like they say, you just guys can't do it. You can't do it. We need we have so much self-doubt. It's so much self-doubt, you know what I mean? Because it's vicious cycle and that we're stuck in. And people don't need to stay in that cycle. We don't have to.
Right.
We don't have to. We can get out of it. And people need to hear, I was that person, honestly. I was that person stuck it. I'm the 1% on the opposite end that has made it out of there,
You're right.
right?
And it's not easy.
And people need to understand it's not easy, but it's gratifying,
Oh, very,
right?
very.
It's not easy when you could wake up in the morning and say, hey, listen, I got a beautiful house. I got a beautiful life. I got beautiful kids. You know, I'm able to help
It gets
others.
easier as it goes
does.
along. Like you said, what took you 10
Depends,
years?
unless you
10
stop
years.
unless you stop challenging yourself. I still challenging myself.
Right.
Right.
But there are new
Yeah.
things that you're
They're new
challenging.
things, right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
And there's people over in Ukraine getting bombed.
right.
You
That's
know?
I think
Imagine,
about
imagine
that.
if you had to live over there
I think about that all the time.
or Afghanistan.
There's so much worse stuff out there, even worse things than I've gone through in my life, you know. And I appreciate every single moment that I get a chance to be able to speak to people like you, speak to people out there, have Kelly by my side, to be able to make just one difference. And I know I have, and I have to remind myself of that, but to continue to make differences in people's lives is what's most important to me. And sometimes not to overwhelm myself too. Don't overwhelm yourself with the bigger picture. Go back to the smaller picture.
Maybe I should
And what it
stop. That's what I do, man.
We all do it.
We all do
Yeah,
it.
I brought these people here for you, Steve.
I think so.
It's not
I
for the
swear to
race or
God,
the
man.
nonprofit. It's
we all
it's
do
to help you.
say you work
We all do it.
75 hours a week.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least
when do you sleep?
barely.
And we were that was us.
Yeah.
You
You
gotta
know,
take
and
a break
you
sometimes.
have to take a break. You have to take a step back and say, you know, we can only do but so much. And this is why is this so important? And whatever goal you have, if you have others that share
Pull
the same
together.
goal, to pull together. So that takes now you got 10 hours that you could sleep because you have somebody else working with somebody else. And we need to, as a community, our Black and brown community, our small businesses, stick together. Our small businesses are suffering right now, right?
Oh, huge.
They're suffering. But if we all supported each other, if I'm a small business and I go shop at your small business, and you all, there's your customer.
That's why we started the Small Business Podcast to
Oh,
motivate
exactly.
people on how they
Awesome.
got started
Awesome.
and educate these people on how they, because a lot of people just don't know. They're like, oh, I want to do this, but they don't do the research or they don't know where to start. I mean, how did you guys officially
fa-
get
they're-
started?
I'm gonna say they're fearful.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, right. I mean, we started,
Especially if they're
because-
doing it by themselves.
And Kelly will
Right.
tell you how we got started.
I mean,
just
we-
YouTube,
It was YouTube. It was
TikTok.
Me too.
it was our passion. We said, you know, we have a story, and some people are ashamed to share their story, what they've been through.
I was scared to tell her.
right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, we're like, we need to. There's something bigger, is a bigger picture out there. So if somebody hears our story, they see us now, like I said, and they go, you went through what? You were doing, you know, you didn't think that we were at that point at one time in our
Yeah.
life.
Right.
So when we share that, they're like, wow, that
They see
now
you in
I
a
feel-
different
Yeah.
eye.
a different light, and they,
Yeah.
well, maybe I can. So we started that YouTube channel, and we would just post our videos and share. So, and then it was COVID, right? Everybody was home.
Watching it.
Everybody-
That's the best time
You,
to
you
start.
had no way to connect with people, only through the social media. So that's why we did it. We wanted to talk to people, and we talked to them through the YouTube. And then that was at the ending of 2020, and in 2021, the
Got,
idea
got
of
onto
the
the
clothing.
community.
Yeah, the clothing came because we said, wait, we're self-funding, we're doing things out of our own pocket.
Mhm.
Let's do the clothes. Everybody likes a jogger set, right? Let's do this. And when we met,
Mine will be more like a leisure suit because
yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
jog.
I don't jog either.
It's comfortable though. It's
I have
comfortable.
AFib, so I kind
Yeah.
of have an excuse.
I'm so glad you guys brought this up because Steve and I help people with podcasting, helping them make videos, video coaching, stuff like
Oh,
that.
awesome.
I meet so many people and they'd rather go play in traffic than get in front of a camera. Like they have this
Right.
fear in their mind
Right.
about being, oh God, what do I say?
It was me.
Yeah.
It took me 4 years to convince him because
Yeah.
when I'm used to the camera, I'm
was so
sitting behind-
scared.
He was so scared.
Mhm.
And when he told me his story about losing weight, and when I'm like, we need to film this. I wanted to film him
It's a
his
great idea.
exercising and all that stuff, and
it-
he didn't want to at
No.
first.
Until you started seeing progress.
No.
No?
No. It's one of those things. I always have to push myself, right? I always have to get over certain things. I did not want to do it.
I see.
I had a buck.
I mean, it was
I
bad.
bucked the system. I didn't want to go out and connect with people. I was so
In your own world.
in my own world, right? Working out, and that was it. And that's all I wanted to do. I tell my story? You know, it's not a poor me story. I'm doing well because I chose to do well. That's the way I looked at it. And Kelly's like, well, you're gonna have to tell it in front of the camera. You're gonna have to. I don't want to get in front of the camera. Why should I have to? You know, I don't want to.
Now, how do you feel about that?
I am so glad that she pushed me out of my element. Right.
It makes sense.
It makes you grow. And that's what I was talking about earlier in the podcast here. You have to push yourself. I'm still fearful of things, but every single time I come up against something, I try to take it on with every ounce of my being. And sometimes I do well at it and sometimes I don't. But again, that's okay, right?
But then you
That's
tried.
okay.
You
Yeah, I
tried it.
tried. But I continue to work
Plus
on
you're
getting
scared
better.
of her.
I work on getting better with it.
This is super cool because now there's a different driver in this whole conversation where you're not just coming on here trying to sell protein supplements or whatever.
No.
But yeah, there's nice clothing that you sell. People can buy that.
Yes.
stuff.
And what is your website? Just so you can let everyone know.
The clothing website is dkmovementbrand.com, and
But
our
the
nonprofit
nonprofit,
is dkmovementcares.org.
Okay.
Those are our two websites.
And you're really carrying the torch for the nonprofit
Yeah.
side of things. Just saying, okay, well, I don't want to get in front of a camera, but I want to do it because I want to help these kids that live in group homes and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Children that are victims of abuse and neglect.
Yeah.
There's a bigger why there than just
Absolutely.
aside from the money.
One of the best things I've ever done in my life was getting out and telling my story. It's made me feel so much more comfortable with myself, right? Some of the insecurities I
Did you learn anything
I've learned
when you tell people these things?
I've learned that there's so many people that appreciate you for who you are.
That's good. What about you?
I think it's the same, and it just being transparent and being able to.
How long? I
inspire-
want to ask you a question because I'm more transparent now
Mhm.
than I was before. Like right now, I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, whatever you think of me, that's fine. You know. But I got to that point, and before I always cared what other people thought, and I really wasn't living my life. You know. But now I'm just like, hey, take me the way I am, because I'm at that point where like I can say that, you know.
Good.
Right.
Good.
But I totally get what you're saying. though.
Well, being a DJ, working in the entertainment business, you're always being mindful of how that other person is receiving you. And
Right.
that's always plays heavy in your mind. You know, you're in front of a camera 24/7. Living in New York, just walking down the street, I always had to make sure I looked good because I didn't know who I was going to.
Then
run
you saw
now-
Bristol and you see pajamas.
to. It was so hard to
You're fine.
to like tone it down because I was used to that.
Right.
But let me tell you
How much time do you save now?
but it's not even the time.
No?
It's the feeling. The anxiety is gone.
Right.
It was such a burden lifted off my shoulder. It was like, oh, I could just be me.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're living it felt like I was living on another person's what they wanted me to be. And then with
Right.
the alcohol, that didn't help. So it made me feel like this is the person that I am. And even trying to get him in front of the camera was like pulling teeth, but getting
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
back in front of the camera with not drinking was difficult.
It was.
Because I thought
Yeah.
that
You
the
weren't going to be as
alcohol-
good.
Right. That people like that outgoing personality was helped with the alcohol. So it
I was the
was
same way when I was DJing.
right. So I had to learn. And then I realized, like you said, I don't care. Now I don't care because this is me.
Right.
Yeah, this is the loud Latin girl this was always me. The alcohol. It
Now I
wasn't the
can see why you
alcohol.
did radio.
Right. It was
No, that's good.
no,
That's,
but and I needed even just to drink to go on the radio, and it made no sense.
That's when
felt
when
like that was my crutch.
my first club job, I was so nervous. And then the DJ that was like training me, even though I already knew how to DJ, but he's like, take a double shot of Jack.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
And
That was my drink.
Then it was
Right.
game on, baby.
Right.
Right. That was
But
my
you think-
Yeah.
But it's still a mental thing because I
Right.
had to tell myself, Kelly, you're still that same person that you was on the red carpet. You could still do this, and I was more focused, which it helped not
Be
be
on the red carpet.
Yeah.
Well, come to one of our events because I'll have a red carpet and I'll interview you.
Okay.
Ah.
Don't tease me now.
Well, our purpose for our nonprofit is the whole. So back in New York, I also did event coordinating, and
Oh, you did?
yeah, so I did networking events. We'll have like 700 people, and then I was also the red carpet hostess. I coordinated the fashion shows. We showcased upcoming talent, artists. We did a cinema series, upcoming directors. So my goal here with our nonprofit, that's how we're raising our funds through events. So each
Events.
event will have a purpose. We did an event called the Unknown Voices. It was giving a voice to the homeless. The purpose of that event was the person you see in the street, have you walk by them, you don't know their story. I had a step and repeat, a camera crew, and I put that person there, share your story, make us understand what happened and how can we help. We put people in the room from places where they can make those decisions and help these people and help understand. And that was the purpose of that event. And that's something that we want to do every year. And then those proceeds will go back to organization that helps people that are, with experiencing
Homeless.
homelessness. So, we want to have our long-term goal, like 5 events a year, and each event will be towards a specific cause.
That's a
Oh,
great.
that's fat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for someone that's interested in being a sponsor, they just call the number that's on your website.
Yeah, they
or-
can visit dkmovementcares.org.
Or they can call us
Or
direct.
they can
You could
call us.
Kelly, why don't you give your number?
So yeah, what I'll do is I'm gonna give you the video. Obviously, you can share it. I should have given you my info, so you can share this video right
Okay,
now
cool.
that we're recording, and then I'll put on the bottom.
Okay.
Or you could
Sure.
do it also.
Yeah,
But yeah, I definitely want to have you guys back if you
yeah, absolutely.
will allow me to,
I think it's
because I think you guys have more to say.
yeah,
You know,
I think it's great that you're doing things like this. Don't take it for granted. Having people
I
on,
don't.
it's amazing to have just this little business that's starting to grow,
Right.
and then you invite others in to experience this. It's a big deal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it definitely.
right here in our little town in Bristol.
Yeah, I'm
It's a
trying.
great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
Keep
trying,
it
you're
up.
doing.
You're doing that. You
You
are
don't
doing.
use the word trying.
Yeah.
Change your
Do.
vocabulary.
You're doing.
Let them know, Kelly. Let them know.
These guys are fucking me up today, man. I'm still
It's the
stuck on the
truth.
damn
No.
supermarket thing around the
It's the truth.
outside.
You're gonna go to Stop and Shop
That
right now and stand there.
Look at that.
like, oh,
You're
Yes,
doing.
Andrew.
You're doing. You're
you're
doing.
doing.
Yeah.
So that's another thing, is changing the way you speak. I mean, we correct
hard.
each other all the time.
Oh, I
Because-
hate that.
It's
No, but correcting
You have
like
to.
that.
Yeah, I know.
Because people be like, no, I'm trying to. You're doing it. Because
Yeah,
we
all the
forget
time.
that we're doing. You're actually doing something.
Right.
If you're not trying to go to school, if you're enrolled in school, you're doing. You're making changes. You're going towards that goal, that end result. And we
Yeah.
got to remind ourselves, because trying is just like, I'm trying.
Think
Right.
of it like this. You're 200 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight right now. If somebody listens to this, and you get up and you do that walk today, and it's only, let's say it's only from here to the kitchen, but and back in a couple times.
To get a
You
burger.
just did, to get that salad, and you actually have a good day and you eat well that day.
Uh-huh.
Give yourself credit for
Credit.
that.
Okay.
Give
Live
yourself
in that
credit for
moment.
that. If today you say, hey, you didn't want to drink today, right? And you decide you don't drink today, you just won. You just won,
Mhm.
right? And now if it's 7 days and you go, hey, I don't want to drink for 7 days, and you only end up drinking 3 days out of that, hey, you won. Take those small little wins. I know it sounds ridiculous.
No, it
that
makes sense.
that starts to build confidence within yourself that you can actually do
And then
stuff,
your body gets used
and then
to
your
it,
body
too.
gets
Right.
yeah.
Because
Right.
you focus on the negative. It's like he said, oh, I didn't make it to 7 days. No, but you made it 3.
Right.
But your mindset starts to change.
See, I don't think things that way. I should.
Yeah,
Right.
but your
We all do
mindset
that.
starts to change. You start to stretch yourself, and then you start to grow and do things that you thought you could never do before.
Right.
And that's really what it's about. Like, where we'll be in next year, 2 years, 5 years from now will be a different place than what you see. us
I
now.
see great things.
Yeah, I appreciate
Well,
that.
thank you.
Oh, well, you guys are great people.
Yeah,
but-
you're a
Thank
great
you.
person too.
You don't know
Thanks
me,
for
but,
having
you
us on.
Just kidding. All
We
right.
had
So
us on.
one more time. Do you have any more questions for these guys?
Yeah, I had one more. I was just wondering, what is the most frequently asked question, maybe starting with Kelly, like the number one thing that you could share and address with the audience? What's the most frequently asked questions that people ask you? You've heard 1,000 times.
I know what it is for me.
How do-
Why? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why? Because they see that we put so much energy and effort in things like why. It has nothing to do with, it's not a monetary gratification. It's because we all here for a reason, and our reason, and this is what brought Derek and I together,
Mhm.
was to help others. At the end of the day, was that our stories, and that's, we could talk about this all day, how we met, how our stories align, how we
Can you
both
just tell me,
feel
like, really
we
quick,
feel the
how did
same-
you guys meet?
Online.
online.
So, hey, I
Going
married
through
my
divorce.
wife online.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and,
No
and,
shit.
and-
I was
and
going through a separation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met my wife on Match.com. That's crazy. That's when it first started getting. This is almost 20 years now.
well,
Yeah.
I was a radio host, and we were doing a
What
segment.
station?
Uh,
In New York?
it was in New York. It was like,
It was a BLS, right? Or Kiss?
no, it was
Oh.
like a online little network thing.
Yeah.
And we were doing a segment on dating apps.
Mhm.
So I downloaded an app. I won't say the app. And just to play around, to research.
Right.
And that's how we got connected. And I was confused because I was like, I never connected nobody in
Was
Connecticut.
All the way in New York.
Yeah, I'm all the way in New York. I'm like, how did we connect?
Right.
And he's in Connecticut. So I was
But
like,
that's not that far.
no,
I
but
mean,
you know how you
yeah.
put your radius? My radius wasn't. in
Oh,
Connecticut.
okay. Yeah.
I put my radius. A
He
little
did.
further.
So it connected us. And it was like, oh, okay, well, all right. Let's have fun. Let's just talk. And he was supposed to come down and we were supposed to go out to dinner. He wound up getting sick and he didn't come out to me,
Allergies.
which was a good thing because then after that, we got to talking. And it got to the point where
Every
my
day.
Bluetooth was connected to my ear 24/7.
Really?
And we got to know
Hours.
each
Hate
other.
talking on a
Hours.
phone.
I used to too.
He hated it, but we got connected on a mental
Mendo, but
mentally.
it was good.
level. It was different for me being in the fashion and entertainment world. Everything's about you. You see the first looks, you're attracted to somebody for their looks. We got attracted here. And
Right.
that was the difference. And that's why it wasn't a no-brainer when I decided to leave.
Yeah.
And change my life and come here because I know I needed someone. He's literally my other
Yeah.
half.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we couldn't do this
Not at
without
this
each
level.
other.
Yeah.
And even though I was in this world,
But
you
you're
know-
still out of your comfort zone because you don't have, I guess, your immediate support that you had at home. Not support, but your immediate friends. You're like away. Did that help you coming to Connecticut?
I needed to get away from them.
Right. You needed to. but-
I needed, those people weren't good for me.
okay.
It showed me
So it was
who
easy
really,
for you to
who
move.
really supported me, who really didn't. You know, when I called them and said, yeah, you know, I don't drink no more, this and this and that. And it was like,
Then you had no one to hang out with.
exactly. So
Right.
it showed me who the true people were
No, I learned
and
that
where I
too.
really needed to focus on.
Mhm.
And it was myself.
Right.
Because I was focused on everybody. I mean, I've helped so many people in New York in terms of their careers. And everyone used to ask me, oh, why aren't you here in your career and in your modeling in this? Because it wasn't meant to. I wouldn't be here if I made, in terms of made it in New York as, you know, that fashion being on TV. I've been there, done that. But if I would have kept going where I was going, all the fame didn't mean anything because I literally think I would be dead.
No,
You know what I mean?
I
So
totally, I mean,
now I see everything through a different lens, being sober and now doing this all over again, you know, and doing the fashion and being on social media is so different when you have someone that's supportive and it's in a positive manner.
yeah, you guys seem like yin and yang.
Imagine if she said, that, I worked on Kiss with DJ Red Alert.
Yeah,
Oh,
DJ
Worked
Red
at-
Alert.
at
Ooh,
Kiss.
DJ Red Alert. Wait, how, may I ask what your ages are?
I'm
for-
43.
I'm 45.
Oh, you guys are still
Yeah.
kids.
And
Fi-
from-
50.
Thank you.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to be hitting my mid 50s. So
Don't
Oh,
look
that's
it.
not bad.
Yeah.
And for me, the number one question I get all the time is how did you do it? How did you do it? Because when you're suffering for alcoholism or you're 100 pounds overweight or you come from a poor childhood, they would always ask me. That's the number one question I
Mhm.
get, right, Kelly?
Yeah.
Is how. I've always, since I've been a young kid, self-belief, right?
right.
I don't know what it is. It's just one of those things at my worst moments in my life, whether I had 2 DWIs, whatever. I always knew that I would be something really significant to be able to help others. That's the truth. I always wanted to give back and help others. And I knew once I stopped drinking and got rid of some of those anger issues and some of those insecurities, my self-belief is sometimes it comes off a little cocky to others.
Mhm.
And, you know, I get taken the wrong way, but
Right.
it's just understanding that when you go through certain things in life, there's only one person you can rely on, right?
It's yourself.
Is yourself.
Right.
And until you start
An answer to.
yeah, it's until you start holding yourself accountable. I'm glad you said that. You can't get anywhere that you want to get to.
Right.
It's like the
Yeah.
haters.
Yeah.
They look at you, and be
There's
like,
always-
"Oh, look at you! You full of yourself. Look at you! You look at
Right.
blah blah blah."
Right,
blah."
you
I
didn't
think
go-
they got negative mindset.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that, you know
Yeah.
what pisses me off when I see someone. All right, so let's say there's a TikTok video or whatever.
Yeah.
They have kids giving someone who's homeless $100 and they're
Oh,
showing
and-
it,
and-
and then you get these comments. Oh, you're just showing off. Who gives a shit if they're showing off?
They gave him
That
$100.
person,
Right?
that person is still getting $100.
Right.
If they want to do that, I encourage everyone to do that.
I agree.
Exactly.
Post it. Go ahead. You want to show off for yourself? It'll motivate other people to do the same thing. Who gives a crap?
it's
You
a-
want the fame for you're not showing up. You're helping the person that you're giving to.
Totally.
But
agree.
again, that person that's making that comment is a negative individual.
Exactly.
They're not happy in their
Right.
life.
Exactly.
And that's why they're saying that because someone who's positive will see that as in a positive nature.
Right. Just like even in Bristol, you know, the
Oh,
Memorial Boulevard,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know how they're redoing
Yeah.
it?
No. Yeah.
People are like, oh, I don't understand. I don't like the design of that. But first of all, they fixed the bridge.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's beautifying the city. What the hell do you care? It's better than having a broken bridge with knocked out, you know, and
Right.
it just doesn't make sense.
But it's easier to be angry
Exactly.
and mad than it is to stay positive.
Just
Right.
bored, disgruntled
Right.
people that
People
have
just
nothing better to do.
for
Yeah.
no reason.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, It was nice hearing from you, and your websites one more time.
It's dkmovementbrand.com and dkmovementcares.org.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
This is fabulous.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Oh, that bass.